Hi, Sparta Indigo here. We came out to the garden today to work on some interesting points. There's this guy on the web now. His name is E.A. Koetting, and he has a YouTube channel that talks about become a living God, and he brings up some very interesting points. So I'd like to see if I can go over some of those points. How learning and creating and spellcasting never gets boring. A lot of these Christians that you talk to all the time, they talk about how if you live forever, life will get boring and stuff like that. So you shouldn't want to live forever. You shouldn't want to, get over diseases. You should just, it's best to just die as fast as you can. So I'm going to show you a little look at this garden here that we created, and talk about how I created it. And it is with a spell casting. I cast a spell to do hard work all the time. By what I do is I just sit there and I'll drink coffee or whatever, and just sit there and relax, and I'll go over in detail everything I'm going to do, and without even using my will or anything like that, next thing you know, I'm up working around and creating value by implanting that idea of creating value in the subconscious mind. And that's what spellcasting is all about. That's what the Celts and the ancient Greeks, and the Greeks were Celts, and that's basically what they're saying when they were talking about spell casting, because they didn't really have these scientific words for the conscious, the subconscious, the superconscious mind, and the archetypal dimension. They didn't have those scientific words, but they had other ways of expressing the same ideas. When you cast a spell, you are deliberately and consciously putting the idea of what you're going to create. You're putting that into the subconscious mind, knowing that the superconscious mind, working along with the archetypal dimension, will create that for you. And so they knew all these things, and they came up with rituals and spell casting to make it happen, because this is important to understand, that you don't use your will to make this stuff happen. You cast a spell on someone to, who's doing you wrong, to get back on them. Don't think that if you feel anger in your body, it's going to make the spell any more powerful, because it's not you that's doing it. It's you that knows how to control all these forces of the universe. And the ancient Celts and Greeks had one way of expressing it, and modern science has another way of expressing it, which is the conscious, subconscious, superconscious mind. Modern Western science knows exactly how it all works, But the one God people, the one God Christians, the one God Muslims, the one God Jews, they have brought forth ignorance onto this planet, and we're paying the price of that ignorance now. And I think it's really interesting the way Donald Trump, he casts spells out there all the time, by the words he says. He takes down the deep state, and the deep state is always trying to cast spells into people through their lies. Trump casts spells through his truth. So anyways, we're going to keep working on this. This creating gardens, or whatever you want to create a beautiful new body for yourself, create relationships, friendships, whatever you do. It's all done by casting a spell. You have to think about it first, you know. You have to implant that into your subconscious mind first, you know. And then don't use your will to try to make it happen. So I got this Vietnam veterans. Are you able to get that t-shirt in film? I got this Vietnam veterans shirt on to talk about basically what E.A. Koetting went through. He went through all these traumas. He talks about them once in a while. He went through all these traumas and came out the other side a more powerful, you know, some people don't like to hear it, but a more powerful God, you know. And that's pretty much what I did. I went into all these traumas, and the traumas of the war in Vietnam. I learned about the opaque. Now a lot of people think, you know, this other side is I don't know what they think. They think it's someplace you go when you're dead, but it's really where all the energy is at once, and all infinite timelessness. And the opaque is you just learn about the opaque from your own experiences. You know, to like when you download the trauma cleansing archetype, right, and someone tries to kill you, you go into the opaque, you know, and then you come back out. And I'm not going to explain it all in detail because, you know, you have to use your own consciousness, your own empirical evidence to really understand all this stuff. So, so another thing I want to work on is I want to work on how, let's see if we can go over here, Christine. I'm going to see if I can find a rock here, and I'm just going to take and I'm going to throw this rock. I'm going to use this as an explanation for angular momentum, okay? You take a rock like this, right, and you throw it, right? Throw a rock that has energy behind it. That rock was only able to be thrown because of angular momentum, right? There is no possible way in this universe that you could take a straight line and you could put energy into something. This is what scientists, they don't even understand where angular momentum comes from, how it comes into things. But there has to be an arc. There has to be a spinning. They can write mathematical equations about this. They understand how it works in math, but they still don't know. They know about centrifugal and centrifugal energies, but they still don't know where that extra energy comes from in angular momentum. And to me, it's not possible to ever be known. Just like you can never know. They have equations written about gravity, and they know all the math of gravity and things like this, but they do not know what gravity is. They do not know where it comes from. There's just bottom lines to things like this, you know, that at some point you just got to accept it. You know, that's just the way nature works. You know, so there is, and it really isn't even worth wasting your time trying to know it. You know, all you're supposed to do is use it to create. You create value in your life. So, so that's what it is about angular momentum. You know, a lot of these scientists will talk about it, how you can't have over unity in energy equations. And, you know, if you burn a piece of wood, you know, yeah, scientists know how much energy is in that wood, and they know how much will come out. You know, that is definitely a unity equation. Unity means 1 equals 1. Energy in equals energy out. But when you start getting into things like angular momentum, piezoelectrics, you know, gravity, and there's some more, there's others that I can't think of right now. But all this stuff is over unity, you know. So basically over unity comes from the quantum field. It comes from, and I don't know why when we look in the sun we see black holes in there, but that's where all the energy is coming from. From the outside it looks like a black hole, but when you get into the inside of it, it's opaque. It's all opaque, you know. And that's just the way it works. You know, you can try to fight with these things and never go anywhere, or you can become a god and, you know, start creating your world and the world for others around you, you know. So I'm wondering if you know, you have any questions or anything like this. Christine, you got any questions or any comments you can add to this? So
you covered it all.
So I think that guy E.A. Koetting is pretty brave to put it right out there, that become a living God. He brings up some very interesting subjects. Koetting is K-O-E-T-T-I-N-G. It's pretty interesting that people that like this are starting to evolve. They're starting to understand what our ancient ancestors were talking about. And we can understand what our ancient ancestors were talking about even a clearer, better, more powerful way by understanding, by using these scientific words, by knowing the exact physics behind all this stuff. You know? So I guess we're running into a pretty long time now, so I'm gonna knock off on this video, and I hope everyone has a great day.